It is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, we're going to talk to Ryan Ainslie about his fine ride and the whole thing about these 20-year-olds and what they're doing these days, because we don't know, because we're not invited to their events.
Well, you don't want to know.
Well, guess what? It was us that started all of that, and we invited everybody. We weren't excluded.
You don't want to know what we were doing at 20.
Yeah, well, there's that. We've kind of hinted about it, but you don't tell anybody.
No.
And we're also going to have a review here in a moment of the 2022 Ford Explorer that we've moved into this segment. And we'll also have This Week in Auto History and some headlines to tell you about. It's all coming up in this portion of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy. Mike Mars and Conrad DeLong are out today. Sitting in is the famous David Ainslie, his son Ryan Ainslie. We need more Jeff Zekin. Yep. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. And it's going to be a different kind of a show, as you could tell already. We had Randy Borcherding on last half hour, and we got more guests coming up. I think you're going to like them a lot. Father Drew.
Did you bring your banjo?
No, I did not.
Okay.
You play the banjo too?
No.
Mandolin?
I don't think so.
Violin?
Guitar?
No,
You do play guitar?
barely.
Barely. What do you do?
Not much.
Not much.
Well, he just got his real estate license. That's an accomplishment.
right.
Great.
He's now an official realtor.
For a 21-year-old
I know.
man, that's awesome.
What was I doing at 21?
Well, you don't want to know.
Oh, well.
Well, 20 years old. He's going to be 20.
He's 20.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at 21, I got into radio.
Wow, you are old.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a crystal set.
The crystal set. That's right. I knew Marconi.
You knew Tesla when it was a different
That's right.
meaning then.
Yeah,
right?
he was still working with somebody doing electricity or something.
Yeah. Franklin.
I'm going to do a car review here.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I got it.
Then we get that out of the way
Yep.
because I need to do this. So I had a chance to drive the 2021 Ford Explorer. Wait, what? 21? Because the Ford press fleet in this area of the United States is lagging behind, as is the rest of the car industry, because they can't have enough chips, all sorts of supply issues to the assembly line. They can't turn out cars. There are no cars at dealerships. Well, guess what? Affects me too. And I don't have a 22 Ford Explorer. And there have been changes made to the 22, from what I understand, Ford Explorer, mainly in the dash. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this particular car, because you may have an opportunity to buy one of these on the used market soon. 2021 Ford Explorer, that's a good-looking SUV right there. It comes in several trim levels, including base, XLT, the Limited, the ST. Did you know that they have an ST version of the Explorer? King Ranch, and Platinum. I had the XLT four-wheel drive. This is a standard SUV, according to the government. Seats 8 passengers, or up to 8 passengers. Yeah, it does have a third row in it. They squeezed it in there. It was completely redesigned in 2020. Exterior features, made in America styling with conservative front end. Sportier than Big Brother Expedition, that's for sure. Stylish rear hatch and tail lights, attractive wheels, and those wheels are trim designated. What I liked about it, the overall conservative styling, attractive to mainstream America when it comes to an SUV. You can't go wrong buying a Ford Explorer is what I'm saying. Interior highlights, straightforward design, interior as well. Controls in all the right places. Easy to use infotainment system. I think this is called Sync 10.9 or something. I don't know what it is, but it's the latest sync system from Ford. Comfortable seating. Cargo and trunk room is competitive to its class of vehicle. What I liked about it, I like that rotary shift knob on the console. Okay, call me whatever you will. It's convenient. I like it there instead of the gear shift up above on the stalk. None of that stuff. This is a rotary shift on the center console. I like it. What could use improvement? Needs a passive phone charger that you can get in more upscale trim levels of this vehicle. It has a 2.3-liter turbocharged inline four-cylinder that turns out 300 horsepower
Wow.
and 310 pound-feet of torque through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Yes, it will burn the tires. Matter of fact, I got a new Maverick to drive this week, thinking, oh, okay, it's a small truck.
It's a
Dude,
good-looking truck.
it'll
Yeah.
light the front tires up on the thing. It's
Really?
crazy.
Front wheel drive.
The front wheel drive. 5,300 pounds for the tow rating on the Explorer. 20 miles per gallon city, 27 highway for a combined of 23. I got 23.7 over 357.8 miles. What I liked about it, adequate power with the 10-speed automatic transmission, and that also translates into pretty good gas mileage. Ride and handling. Unibody, ride quality, somewhat car-like. What could use improvement? A softer ride. Did I say that? I said that. The only reason I say that is because they were going to appeal to mainstream America, mainly moms, soccer moms. I think that a little bit softer ride, at least make it as a possibility that you could buy that at a trim level, would be a nice thing. It's just me. Pricing. Base trim price is $37,075. Prices tested $45,305. Base model price is $32,925. $40,000 today is about average price for vehicles across the board. Competitors, the Kia Telluride is at $34,190. That's where it starts. The Hyundai Palisade, $35,325, and the Honda Pilot, $34,550. So it's right in there with all of those. And that's my review this hour of the Ford Explorer. Thank you for playing.
Very cool.
So the ST, does it have the sport model? Is
Yeah.
that what that is?
Well,
So
that's what it is. Yeah.
Is it a stiffer ride?
I don't
then?
know. I didn't ride it. Didn't drive it, so I don't know.
It seems like you're right. They should have a dial to dial up your.
And that may
You're
and
right.
Suspension,
One,
air or
Suspension,
something.
yeah.
one of them may have that. I don't know. I didn't dig that deep into the model, but in later shows I will.
What I saw the vehicle when he had it just briefly. The back end of it reminds me of a Bronco.
The new
The way
Bronco.
the way it's shaped, and I don't know if they're using. To me, they're using the same type
Taillights?
of taillights exactly,
Right.
and that's what kind of influenced me. That
Yeah,
that's a Bronco, but it's not. It's a good looking car.
Okay, so we're going to shift our attention now to him.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ryan Ainslie, son of David Ainslie, is a hot rodder and has been since what model year is it? 20?
2000,
What did you say?
2003.
2003.
Mhm.
But his version of hot rod is different than our version of hot
Yeah,
rod.
it's not.
We had
He's
blower
Japanese
stacks
hot
on
rod.
it and headers and side pipes. Where like you said, it's a different hot rod.
Well, let's see. In my buddy Ross Putnam had a 55 Chevy, and in 1970, it was 15 years old. Fits right into the whole thing.
Timeline.
Cars that are 15 years old, that kind of fits that age group. They're not too old, but compared to today's car, like my 2001 Corvette that sits out there, it's got a key that you put into the dashboard key slot
It's a
and
skeleton
turn
key.
it. Yeah, it's like a skeleton key. Exactly. I assume that you don't have that.
No, I don't.
You do?
Mhm.
Does it go in the dash or the
Column.
Mhm.
column? Goes in the column.
Oh,
Or is it the
Yeah.
dash?
That's the column.
Column. Yeah.
But he's got a stick shift.
He's
Yeah,
got a
so
stick shift.
do you
That's the thing.
consider your buddies and all the people you hang out with? Do you consider yourself hot rodders, or is it something different?
Like, we just say we're car enthusiasts.
Okay.
So in our lingo would be hot rodders,
Yeah.
but car enthusiasts, because we're that too. We're just car enthusiasts. I like all cars, really, and especially cars that are modified. And depending on how well the modification is done, is how much I like it or not like
Yeah.
it. And like me, I'd assume that you are, because I've seen your car. And okay, then we just saw from
Parts
Randy
of it,
Borcherding the new front bumper that you put on there. Not radical, doesn't have some great big huge, whatever you call
Spatula.
a shovel nose, a spatula hanging out in front of it. It's relatively conservative, but definitely different than the stock one.
Oh, yeah.
What made you go in that route that you wanted to put a new front bumper cover on it?
I chose that one because eventually, once I have the funds, I would like to turbocharge it. So with the aftermarket front bumper, it is more open, and with an intercooler there, you'll be able to see it and
More
have a-
airflow,
Mhm.
yeah, and the look.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
no,
planning ahead on that. That's
yeah,
pretty
and,
cool.
and totally just right in
Mhm.
our wheelhouse with all of that. Yeah, so not much has changed there. So what have what have you done as far as modifications to it under the hood? Anything?
Pretty basic, just intake, exhaust.
But that's major.
They got coilovers.
Oh yeah, coilover wheels.
So how much? What you got invested in it? Turn down his ear.
Yeah, he doesn't want to tell me. Well, he's got the whole room full of parts on the floor right now.
Oh,
The
yeah.
ones that he took
Oh,
off, or the
For
ones that are
tr-
going to go
no,
on?
that are going on.
Oh.
So I have a new clutch and flywheel. I'm install on it, lightweight flywheel and performance clutch.
In your own,
Faster revs.
in the garage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gets the revs. The only problem with that is,
And
huh?
The exhaust.
Yeah, the great big exhaust. Yeah, the garbage can exhaust.
Well,
I mean,
not that bad.
I understand. But I mean, as a matter of fact, Ross had in that small block Chevy, in that 55 Chevy that he had a lighter flywheel, had aluminum flywheel, as a matter of fact. I mean, you trump the throttle on it, wow, really fast.
Huh.
But it takes away torque because it doesn't have the inertia
Right.
of a steel flywheel on there. And back in our day, that's how we were able to play with it, if you will, on the drag strip. You want to be fast off the line, you want to rev it up real fast, but as far as torque is concerned, not so much.
Huh.
So as with anything else, there are compromises to be made. Okay, I got it. And so tires.
Tires.
Now he worked at Discount Tire forever,
3
yeah,
years.
3 years.
3 years. So
Yep.
you know about tires.
Yep.
Did you put some Falcons on it or what?
No, put Kumos on them.
Kumos.
Sticky
okay.
tire.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. 285s in the back, and I think 255s in the front.
Okay, a little offset going on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know about you, but for me, it was really as much about the look as it was performance.
Yeah,
Maybe-
performance will come a little bit later.
Yeah. But I mean, you got to look good going down
Yeah,
the
see,
street.
that was back when I was growing up. That was the look.
What
yeah,
did you have?
72 Nova. That's how I met Kathy.
That's right.
Yeah.
You picked her up in the
She picked
72
me-
Nova.
She picked me up. She fell in love with the car, and eventually I tagged along.
See, that's what we all want. We want the chicks to go, ooh, look at his car.
See
He's
there?
not so much, but we really like the car.
And if she-
Okay, we'll go for a
take
day.
it.
And if she's watching, she's probably cussing at the TV.
Yeah.
I love you, dear.
Yes. Yeah. So, same thing.
Chick magnet.
Oh no, dude magnet. It's a bunch
that's
of
another show.
Yeah.
just a bunch of guys just ask me questions whenever I go to car shows
Sure.
and stuff.
Yeah.
What I've done to it, but other than
Well,
that,
see, that's exactly where I fell in. Exactly where I fell in. It wasn't necessarily about the chicks, although that was kind of in the back of my mind. But go to car shows and steal other guys' ideas
Yeah.
and maybe modify them and make them my own. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's kind of all about. You share information with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what kind of manifold is that? It looks really good. Does it perform well? Oh, yeah, it's great. So go and buy one. Stick it on there. That kind of stuff.
So what was the last show that you've taken it to? Now you go to display, or you just go to kind of walk
no,
around
just
and
like I just go to
hang out?
Drive-ins.
Yeah.
just regular car meets.
You go to cruise-ins, right?
Cruising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
At Avalon Diner, is it next weekend? A week from
It'll
tomorrow?
be a week from tomorrow,
Tomorrow, yeah.
Sunday, yeah.
But
Which-
that's a
which
di-
But it's a
Avalon?
bunch of Avalon Diner right
in
down
Sugarland?
Stafford. Yeah,
Okay,
Sugarland,
yeah.
Stafford.
Stafford. But it's not his. It's not his group.
No.
You hang with your group.
He's at like Catalina over there in the Heights, and
And
Yeah.
Woodlands and
Right.
yeah.
But they're like cars. What we call tuner cars.
or
I don't know, and I'm not. This is not being derogatory. I don't know what else to call them. Is that what they're called?
JDMs maybe.
JDMs.
Mhm.
Right.
Japanese
And
domestic market.
He's,
Yeah.
he's dying to go to Japan.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
what's his
Yeah.
bucket list.
You
right
know.
there.
You know what would be a good place, a stop off for you? The LA JDM shows that they have, the cruise-ins that
That
they
sounds
have.
cool.
Oh my God! I saw one on the internet not that long ago. It was almost a riot of cars
Really?
in a parking garage
Oh,
with
yeah.
one way in and one way out. And they filled the whole thing out, and somebody was doing burnouts. And right across the street is a residential high-rise. Of course, people calling the cops, and all the cops come, and okay, everybody out. And they get out there on the street and going, okay, fine, do this massive burnout onto the street right in front of the cops and whatever. Just get out of the parking garage
You'd
and
never
go
do
away.
that, though, would you?
You would never do
No,
that.
no.
No, of course
Mhm.
not. I would.
To somebody else's car.
No, my own. But
Your own
that was so much fun. One of the cars had one of those great big spatula noses on it,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The big spoiler that hooked straight out. So what they did to get it in the parking garage, they unclipped it from the front of the car because it wouldn't go over any bump. It was that
Right,
far off
right,
this concrete. And they had unclip it, get the car in the garage, and then clip it back on so it looked cool going on up. But yeah, but that LA scene out there, ooh. But that was, LA was always like, ooh, look at that. And they have a big, big, big show at Pomona with all of the hot rodders. And they've had that since the 1950s when drag racing started out there at Pomona. The beginning of the NHRA and Wally Parks and all of that.
Yep.
And that was like the Mecca. And all of the car customizers, that's where all of that whole thing started out there.
Mhm.
So you can imagine that car culture out there, completely different than it is here, but it's the same enthusiasm. So much fun. Boy, that would be a great place to vacation for you. Go and spend a weekend out there. Buy yourself a cheap plane ticket on Southwest. Go out there, find somebody that you communicate with online, get them to put you up, and go and party out there.
And your
That sounds
buddies. Take
awesome.
your buddies out there with you, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They would love that.
Absolutely.
Road trip.
Yep. Road
Oh,
trip.
yeah. That'd
And
be,
take your dad's car.
No.
that'd be tons of fun, man.
Take the van. Pile
The
everybody-
minivan. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
pile everybody in there.
It'd be
Take
like
the
Cheech and,
minivan.
Cheech and Chong with smoke coming out the side.
No, that was our day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
That was our
No,
day.
he didn't do that.
Mutts Cuts.
What?
Mutts Cuts. Dumb and Dumber, the van
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
yeah,
big
yeah,
ears.
Yeah, yeah. Took me a
Did
minute.
you ever see Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So what's the next show you're going to? You got something planned coming up in the next weeks or tomorrow or what?
Probably next week. I usually go. There's a couple I go to. There's one called Car Culture. You can look them up on Instagram or online, or Coffee and Cars is what it is.
Where's that at? Because I didn't have. a
They're
listing
in
for
various locations, so they'll
Okay.
usually be in Pearland or they'll be in the Woodlands, but it's mostly like exotic and hyper cars. Coffee and Cars is more of a bigger deal, so there'll be like Lamborghini Aventador SVJs. Last time I was there, there was a Ferrari F40,
Mm.
and yeah, this is just a big show, a bunch of people there.
I went to Coffee and Cars one time, and it was up there off of, I want to say it was at 249. It's a big shopping center up there. I can't remember the name of it.
Willowbrook?
No, it was further out than that.
Oh.
And that shopping center was relatively new and didn't have a lot of tenants in it yet. But there was so many cars, it took over the entire parking lot. And the problem is that there were businesses that were trying to be open on Saturday
Yeah,
morning
right.
or what I guess. Was it Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. And then so about booted them out.
Yeah.
Plus, nobody can behave themselves. They got to do these massive burnouts out on the street. Of course, the cops are arresting people, and there's a wreck over there and a wreck over here, and it's like, no, I don't need all that.
I don't think that was like that the past few times I've been. It's
Well,
been pretty.
Well, it's been
calmed
shut down many times, and
Yeah.
they've gone long stretches of times where nobody would have them. Nobody would accept them in the parking lot because it was a bunch of rowdies with lots of money that could do massive burnouts. And I don't know why that's such an important deal to burn up a new set of tires. I
don't
gotta
know.
Get the
So
crowd
it
going.
wasn't that well organized because generally the organizations they need liability insurance
Yeah.
and they need permission from all the
vendor-
property
yeah.
owners and everything
Yeah.
around there. So they're just doing it a little
Yeah.
different.
So anyway, Coffee and Cars, yeah, and I think that is a franchise name, and it's one of those like the first cruise in, really organized cruise in, and they have them in different cities around the United States, and the one here has had its problems with reeling in all of the guys that show up for that and not calm it down, boys. If you want to go race, fine. There's a drag strip right over there. Take it out there. But it's testosterone, man.
Some of these clubs, they can be kind of temperamental and a little uppity, because if you're driving those exotics and the cars that you mentioned, you kind of have a tendency to be on a different level than a guy like me bringing in an old hot rod. You don't want to associate together. So there's a lot of that out there, too.
They get 1,300 horsepower out of a 4-cylinder.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not electric.
It's a secret.
Yeah. It's like, how do you do that? What do you do to that?
Money, buddy. All it takes is money.
Well, you got to have the engineering and skills. The younger generation that we're talking to now is they're all part of that. They know how to do that now. They'll figure it out.
Yeah. And I would imagine that I would imagine that the used parts business is just as big today as it was in our day, and that your buddy that's got a turbocharger that you want is going, I'm ready to update mine. If mine works fine, you buy it for half the price. And I'm sure that does that not go on?
Part swaps. And
Yeah.
things?
Yeah, I'm part of like a big car guy group, so they definitely do things like that.
Yeah.
Swap meets and trades.
Sure.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. I mean, we did that because we couldn't afford, a brand new, whatever it was, eliminator manifold. Not that's too much money. We don't have that kind of money. And that's okay. I'll sell it to you for a quarter of the price of a new one. It'll work just fine.
He's going to put a blower on the vet. You watch.
I will not put a blower on the vet.
He's going to be calling you.
I get my
When
Sawzall out there and cut a hole in that hood.
When you're done with your clutch, come on by.
I came that close to doing that to the 77 Corvette. Bought the high-rise manifold, the dual carburetors, and the whole 9 yards. Here it is sticking above the. Oh yeah, no, I
3
came
feet.
that close to doing it.
Look like a 3-year-old kid
Thank
standing
God,
on
I didn't do that.
You can't see.
This week in auto history, Conrad normally does that,
yeah.
but Jeff is
Let me fire this up.
has gotten the paperwork.
I got the bug.
He's got the bug,
And I'm
and he's ready
going
to
to
do
pass
it.
this on to
David.
Yes. Pass that down.
I don't know what I'm doing, but
Don't
I'll try
touch
to figure it
All
out.
you're going to do is hit that little arrow, and then I'll take it from here.
All right.
It's kind of a shorty this week.
Okay,
Thank
we'll
you for
do
that,
it.
Conrad.
Let me know when you're ready.
All right, go
Well,
for it.
the
Hit
shorty
it.
thing works.
Yeah, shorty thing. Okay, so this week in auto history, there you go.
There we go. Now, it's,
Oh, you know what?
you got to have the
There
cable
you
there.
go.
You just unplugged it.
Yeah, plug it. Little technical
There's
difficulty.
technical difficulties at the end
Yeah,
of the
the
day.
only
did I do
difficulty
that?
is
There you
that the
go.
wire's not plugged
You want me to
in.
rewind
Yeah,
this?
go ahead. Why not? We got time. We got till 11.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, thank you, Conrad. 1903, Buick was founded by David Dunbar Buick.
You got Burek.
Buick, you got to stop that. There you go. In 1952, Studebaker and Porsche signed developmental deal. Dr. Ferdinand Porsche. Conversations led to an official deal. Porsche soon delivered its first idea, essentially a 4-door Porsche
Ugh.
356.
Wow.
Now, hey, I got something coming up with a Porsche
That
in my
is
segment,
ugly,
so
man.
stay tuned to that. 1962, Chrysler Turbine car prototype was introduced. I like that. It looks like an old T-Bird.
I saw one.
It does.
Yeah, that's right. You told me about that.
Yeah.
Yep. Moving on to that, in 1969, the last Chevrolet Corvair is built. Then it vanishes.
Got it. That one needs to vanish.
Yeah, the vanishing point.
Was
There's
that
a movie
yours,
about it.
Don?
Well, it's
Oh,
mine kind of looked like
Didn't
that when
wanna
I
go
got
there.
it.
Didn't want to go there. 1978, the 2 millionth Camaro is built. Look at that.
Wow.
Get that plate number. Run it. And then in 1988, the Ford Probe, car that could have been the next Mustang, debuts. And that's what I've got, according to my information.
Dominique Saxa, remember her?
Oh, yeah.
When I worked with her back at Channel 2, back in the old
Way
days,
back in the day.
she had a Ford Probe. I needed to borrow it because I needed to go somewhere after the show and the car was in the shop or whatever it was. I borrowed it. I kind of liked that little car. It was a nice little car.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked good, drove good, but it just didn't catch on. It could not have ever been, of course, today, different, but could have never been a Mustang replacement.
Oh, 4-cylinder?
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
it just wasn't there.
Well, it was an economy car for the day.
Right.
Well, it was, but everybody had high hopes that it would be able to put a small block V8 in it or something. That never happened, obviously.
LS, tub it out.
And tub it out with an LS. Yeah, exactly. All right.
A lot of that.
I've got some recalls to tell you about. Toyota 4Runner the 4Runner, the Highlander Hybrid, and the Tacoma for 2022, all being recalled because of, are you ready? An illegible load carrying capacity label.
Really?
Are you kidding me? Who's
A
going to
recall?
take their car back for a recall for a label? You can't read the label. Take the label off. Now you can't read it for sure.
I read emails that I don't understand.
Vehicle roll away from a software error on the Kia EV6 for 2022. Same thing for the Hyundai Ioniq 5.
What does that mean? Wait. Back up. Roll away.
Roll away.
They just start rolling by themselves?
Well, apparently when you put it in park, it's all electronic. It's not
Right.
mechanically connected. You put it in park, well, that's all done, controlled by a computer, right?
Fly by wire.
Yeah, well, this one here, it can roll away when you put it in park. Oh, look, there goes the car. Software error may cause unintended acceleration in the Ford Mustang Mach-E for 2021. Forward-facing camera is misaligned in the Ford Mustang for 2022. What does that tell you? Got a problem there.
Yep.
Mitsubishi Outlander, seatbelt locking retractor malfunction. Driver's airbag may not deploy in the Ford F-250 Super Duty, 350, 450, and 550 for 2016. Kia Telluride for 2022, a blank instrument cluster display screen. It's being recalled for that. And could be a possible thermal event in a Ford Expedition and Lincoln Navigator for 2021. Don't drive it. Take it in.
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Well, there's no ejector seat, oil slick maker, or machine gun, but the 1964 Aston Martin DB5 that Sean Connery bought for himself more than a half century after driving one as James Bond in Goldfinger is up for sale.
Yes.
The actor bought the DB5 at the suggestion of his children in 2018, 2 years before he died at the age of 90. It's the only one he ever personally owned, and auction company Broad Arrow Group expects to sell it for between $1.4 and $1.8 million.
Do you think maybe the kid said, Dad, go buy that because, inheritance is good?
The car will be part of Broad Arrow's August auction in Monterey, California, with most of the proceeds going to the Sean Connery Philanthropy Fund.
Nice.
He was my favorite of all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
James
Hell
Bond,
yeah.
Sean Connery.
And I'm an Aston Martin fan, so very
Mhm.
cool.
Or as my friend says, it's an Austin Martin. No, it's not an Austin Martin. It's an Aston Martin. All right, time for a quick break. We'll be right back. You're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line.
Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com.